Welcome here for our very last afternoon of work. This is a very important session, Délice Best Practices. And so during this great week in Cali, we have already connected a lot. And some of you gain a nationality. Yes. We learned a lot about Cali and about food development and economy, and now it's time to share our best practice, the best practice of your cities. You will be all presenting a best practice, that is to say a project or a vision or a strategy. So how will it work? We will have 3 rounds of 3 cities. So each of you will be presenting for 5 minutes of pitch. And then we will have 2 sessions of 10 minutes discussion. So people who are not presenting will have to choose table and project they want to learn more about. So out of 3 projects, you can choose 2 projects to learn more about. Is that clear for everyone? Yes? So let's get started with the first round. Yes?
If we are presenting in the same round, yes, you cannot go to the table of the other cities presenting.
No. I'm sorry. That's why we put a 5-minute presentation so you can know more about the project, and there will be a final wrap-up. And if you want to know more about the project, you can't know more, it will be a good topic of discussion for tonight, you know? Oh.
While dancing.
While dancing, yes, while dancing salsa. So the first one will be Montreal, who will be presenting the Montreal Office of Gastronomy. Then Puebla with the strategy, and Tucson about public relations and media to enhance food tourism. So, Stephanie, that will be your turn. Thank you. This one.
Comment? Je le
Non, le bas. Le bas.
Le bas?
Ouais, voilà, ça va venir.
Okay. So yeah, I'm the first one. Yes, that's great, thank you. So I'm here today to present you our last baby in Montreal, which is named the Office Montréalais de la Gastronomie, or if you prefer, the Gastronomy Office of Montreal. So basically, I won't go through, I only have 5 minutes, but just to let you know, this project has been, we thought about this project for many years. From 2010, 2017, we had a gastronomy committee, but we were facing at some point, you know, that without the help of the government or, you know, the city, we were facing a kind of wall. So basically, 2017, we create basically a collective undertaking during the public consultation for the cultural action plan for Montreal to recognize gastronomy as part of the culture sector for Montreal. But they said, okay, fine, but don't expect money from the culture sector because there's enough culture. So we say, okay, let's go. We'll put together a partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture, the Producer Union, the Society of Casino of Quebec, Tourism Montreal, the Institute of Culinary. We put all together money to create or build the strategic plan of gastronomy that happened in 2019. So we basically had many focus groups with all the sectors, and I just want to let you know that for us, gastronomy, it's not only restaurant, it's really from farm to table, so it includes all the sectors. So we were ready. We did also a special day with which is called All in the Same Plate, So to make sure that the plan that we were working on were accepted by the sector, the ecosystem. And we were ready to launch this plan in spring 2020. Obviously, we had to put on hold this project, but we restarted the project last spring 2021. We consulted the ecosystem just to make sure that the plan was still up to date, and it was. So we finally launched the plan last summer, 2021, and right now we are working to build the Office Montréalais de la Gastronomie. So the vision of the OMG, so oh my God, it's a good idea. It's just to make sure that we are more structured in Montreal in terms of gastronomy. We already have a good image or a good positioning in Canada, obviously, in North America, but when it's time to have this positioning or this, like let's say in the palmarès, or how do you say palmarès? Anyway, the ranking, Montreal is not really there when it's time to talk about worldwide. So it's just to work together and to reinforce the positioning of Montreal in all sectors. So restaurants, obviously, but also festivals and producers, urban agriculture, etc. The mission of the OMG, well, I just said that it's mobilizing the communities to make sure that we all go in the same direction, position the gastronomy as a driver of economic, social, environmental, and cultural development, increase the scope of initiative with all the sectors of gastronomy. So we want all the sector of economy, for example, restaurants, to work better with urban agriculture, or so long, you know, tours with urban agriculture as well. So it's just to increase this these initiatives, and obviously promote Montreal's gastronomy through the exchange and development of partnership. So you can see here Délice, you know, it's part of our plan now to make sure that Montreal is more involved at the international level to share and to share and learn. Whoops. Yeah, so action to date. So we work on the governance committee. So we have the committee of directors. It's done. We have an advisory body. So we have about 100 of stakeholders with this committee that will be contacted depending on the project, and we have 4 working group depending on the orientation. That I'll just go further. Where's my? Oh, okay. That goes with all the 4 strategic directions. So, which is the mobilize the industry, as I said, you know, sustain the gastronomy and make the Montreal showcase of Quebec's product and flavors as well. You know, we already have the door of Quebec province, but we want to reinforce the collaboration with producers and artisans as well to promote them and to promote the gastronomy. That's enough? It's 5 minutes. I told you guys, 5 minutes is short. So I won't explain. You're gonna receive all the interventions that we will work on. And right now we are spreading the news, so we are working with medias to make sure to have deeper interviews to really well explain the role of the office. And we also want to, we launched a platform for consultation the ecosystem. So it's in French. Unfortunately, it's only in French, but people can put their own ideas on this platform, and they can vote for some actions also that they want to make it happen. So it's going to help the committees to prioritize some good action in short term. Next up, it's my last slide. We're continuing the communication strategy. As soon as I'm back, we are working on the action plan. So we hired someone to help us to do that, to just brainstorm on good projects, implement the project, and realize finally the second edition of the event, to put together the people and just to have an update of what is going on with the office. And the main challenge, obviously, is to find a solution in long term for the operation of the office, because right now the office is financed 100% by the City of Montreal. So basically we had 1 million Canadian dollars to launch the office, but over the next year we're going to have to find new partners to probably develop the projects, or even better, have yearly financial support to operate the office. Don't forget to vote for me.
Many thanks, Stephanie. I know it's not easy to be the first one. And sorry to rush you. I know 5 minutes is very, very short, but please keep in mind that it's just a pitch of your project, and you have time afterwards at the table to go into further details with the people around you. So, yes. So now I would like to call Puebla for presentation of their gastronomy strategy. Yes. Can we have... Yes, perfect. Here we go, and this is... I can take a picture for you.
Yes, please.
You want on your phone? No.
You tell me when. Shall I start? Okay, so time to talk about Puebla officially. I'm really happy to talk about the gastronomy towards an economic development. This is the strategy, the gastronomy strategy of Puebla. Following the rules.
There's a delay.
There. As we know, the COVID pandemic affect all the activities, but especially the tourist sectors affect. In Puebla's case, it affect with the drop of the 26.7% of the percentage of hotel occupancy. According to this, we make efforts to contribute the economy recovery, understanding the new trends and the new tourist behavior. We need to understand that because of the pandemics, the tourists change their behavior, and they are looking for more experience, and that's what we are going to work in. We know that now that the tourists want experience, and we need to promote experience and not only at tourist attractives. In addition to this, the new tourist behavior tell us that people are looking for going out to have new activities and to search some places where they can go by car nearby, so that they do not go in an airplane because of the COVID. That's why Puebla is a good option, because of the Puebla strategic location. Puebla is right in the center of Mexico City, and that's why we have a lot of Mexico states around us, and that gives us a really good possibility to have more and more tourists once again. Giving the recognition of Puebla worldwide, the current administration of the Mayor Eduardo Rivera has implemented a strategy focused in gastronomy through the following activities. The first one is called the Calendario Gastronómico. This is the gastronomy calendar. We in Puebla, we are a city where you can eat really good depending in which month we are. We have different types and different products of the season, and that's a thing that we want to promote the whole time. The second one, and I'm sure that Felipe is going to talk about it, is the Pueblos del Maíz that we are working with Tucson and Mérida because of Délice connections. It's really important that we know that it's really important to work together with Destinies, with the promotion of the city. So right now, Pueblos del Maíz is happening. Right now it's happening in Tucson, and it's going to happen, Pueblos del Maíz in Puebla, the 27th and 28th of May. The third of all, the third example that we have, the third product, it's one that I already talked to you about. It's called Mesas Poblanas. This is a restaurant certification. What are we doing? That we have a list of 30 restaurants, and we hire a company. So this company make a certification of the restaurants. In this way, this company can tell us how good the restaurants they are, and they gave us this special distinct telling that they are Mesas Poblanas. The first edition we have 23 restaurants, and then the idea is that we are going to have every year a new restaurants, and this helps to the whole restaurants that are in Puebla to be willing to be part of the group. But if they want to be part of this Mesas Poblanas program, they need to have a really high quality. We divided the restaurants into two categories. The first one is the gourmet ones, and the second one is the traditional. And finally, this is one of the most important, is that we are going to be Puebla City from June 2022 to June 2023, the whole year. We're going to be the capital iberoamericana de la cultura gastronómica. This is the capital of the gastronomy in Latin America. 14 Latin American academies of gastronomy had voted for Puebla to be for one whole year the capital. The last capital right now is Madrid, and Madrid is giving us the capital of gastronomy from Latin America. Because of that, we have a new budget focus only in gastronomy, and that's why we are going to have a lot of activities. But we want to have activities with the restaurants, with the industry, but also by publications, cultural activities, museums, exhibitions. We want to know and to connect producers directly with restaurants. So this strategy, the target of this whole strategy is to recover and to have the same tourist levels as in the past. We want to get close to the 80% of hotel occupancy and 100% of hotel occupancy in the downtown, the most touristic area. The city right now, sometimes we can have the last Holy Week we had 7% of occupancy in the whole hotels, and the hotels that are right in downtown we had the 100% of occupancy, so we are working really good. So we want also to work, aim to the most, to be the most visited city with no beach in the whole Mexico. We already have achieved that in the past, and we want to go back to be that place. We know that we are not competing to the beaches because we said that going to the beach you don't get any well-being. Because we said that vacations means not doing anything, means change the activity. And if you go to Puebla, the activity is culture, the activity is world heritage, the activity is gastronomy. So for you as a person, it's a better idea to go to Puebla because you are going to have something else to you to tell than to go to the beach just to take the sun. It's also fun, but that's what we are focusing in. So this strategy, led by the mayor, through the Minister of Economy and Tourism, which I work, we are working along with universities because this is really important that all this strategy have been talked to the whole industry, universities, restaurants, researchers, artists, and citizens. And about the business model, this is in US dollars, the Capital Iberoamericana that I was talking about, we divided in 2 years, and it's $186,000, and then $147,000 in the second year. And Mesas Poblanas, the certification of restaurant is for this year $31,000. So we want to position Puebla as an international reference destination, as seasonal destination according to the gastronomic festivities, in which you can see it in the paper we just gave it to you, the Calendario Gastronómico. So I think I'm on time. Thank you very much, and vote for Puebla.
Please go table 2 if you want to vote to Puebla. Yes. So now, Tucson, Felipe. Okay.
Thank you, and there's a clicker, and what's one, the one down?
Yes, the one down.
Perfect. So in 2018, we were in Chicago, and my PR team was having dinner with the journalists, and we were blown away because this journalist told my PR team, sorry, I cannot pitch more stories about Tucson because my editor told me that there's too much coverage about Tucson. And we're like, what? It never happened before. We've never seen so much media coverage about our community. But how we got there was not by accident. It was because we did very strategic efforts that I want to share with you on how we've been able to get the attention of national, international media to our community. So I'm going to start real fast with 6 recommendations of what you can do in your communities. Number 1, create a story. When we talk to journalists, the first question they ask us is, what's new in Tucson? If I tell them, oh, I have a new restaurant, they tell me, well, there's 620,000 restaurants in the US, so why are you unique? The first thing you have to do is create a story, and create a story that connects your community, your people, and a person to that story. So this is Don Guerra. You met many of you met him in Tucson. He's a master baker. And I remember when I started talking to him, he would do presentations, and he will start with a lecture. Imagine Don Guerra walking and talk about his bread. And he will start talking like, yes, my bread is gluten-free and sustainable using farms because I get the dioxide of carbon out of the seed. And people were... So we talked to Don. People want to know about you, the person. Why are you a baker? What happened in your career? What happened in your life? Why you're using local ingredients at local farms? And all of a sudden, by him telling his story, we've been able to get the attention of journalists to look at him. Recently, New York Times did a story about himself and his bakery. And every time I see Don Guerra, that by the way, right now, his bakery, if you go to his business, the door says open from 9 to 5. And about 3-4 years ago, he had to put a little sign below that says, or until the bread's gone. So Saturday, you have to be there at 7:50 to start your line, because at 9 a.m. he opens the bakery, and by 10:50, everything's gone. And you can see people coming and telling Don, I saw your newspaper, I saw you on television, I'm from San Francisco, I flew to Tucson, I'm going to stay a few days here, and I've been coming every day to buy your bread. Can you tell us where to go? What else can we see in our community? So again, number 1, get those chefs, get those restaurants, and help them create a story. Number 2, it's why not? Journalists will come to you, or many publications or TV programs, and for us as business bureaus, they will tell us, hey, do you want to advertise with us? And here's my advertising rates. So a few minutes ago, you saw me walking with a phone up. It's because I was doing this, a television show in Mexico that airs Northwest Mexico, Arizona, and California. And how this happened was, years ago, they came to me and said, hey, Felipe, we have this TV show, these are our advertising rates, you can put a commercial in our breaks. And I said, well, you know something, commercials are great, but people tend to look away, turn channels, go to the bathroom. And I asked them, what if I still buy you an ad, but let's do a daily interview live, and you give me 3 or 4 minutes, run a commercial for a conversation. So every Thursday at 12:13 Tucson time, and through Zoom, I can connect. I was here walking around, I'll show you a video later on, and this is aired again in Northwest Mexico and south of the United States. But now I have other TV shows calling me and asking me, Felipe, can you do the same? I didn't tell them that I'm sponsoring them, so they are actually giving me free time. So I'm becoming a news correspondent, 3 minutes in my computer, get a video, push it out, and I have great exposure. So that's the second recommendation, change the way that you approach media. Number 3, build relationships. If you talk to a journalist, if you were able to get someone to visit your town, not only do the transaction and forget about it, build a relationship, talk to them, ask them about your life, your career. So this chef is Patty Hinich. She did a show in Tucson, Patty's Mexican Table. Those are my kids there. This is a national television show in the United States, has won many awards. She came 1 year, and guess what happened the next year? She says, Felipe, I want to go back to Tucson, and did the first episode of another season. But we developed this relationship now that many times I'm in my social media, and I notice all of a sudden a big spike on likes or shares, and it's because Patty, not under contract, because we are friends, she will comment about Tucson. We will put something about a dish in our community, and she will put a comment saying, yes, I tried that dish, it was amazing while I was visiting Tucson. Then all of her followers are seeing that comment, and it's helping us amplify our message. So again, keep building those relationships. Number 4, never give up. These publications, this story from National Geographic Traveler, the National Geographic Food, sometimes we pitch a story with a journalist, it can take us up to 1 year to finally see it come in the news, and we're patiently waiting, and we never know. They're going to go and pitch the story to the editors, but we don't know. So be patient and be creative. So during the pandemic, we were not able to travel. There was no opportunity to meet in person. So what we did is we contacted our office, some clients we have in New York, and there's a lot of journalists there, of course, and we got Don Guerra to do a baking class online. And we ship boxes with all the ingredients by FedEx overnight, and all of a sudden we get 16 of the top editors of publications that they were calling us because they wanted to participate in our class. So we were very persistent, never giving up. And again, it takes a long time. Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives, it took us 3 years of talking to the editors, pitching the story, why they have to go to Tucson to get in town. So again, never give up. Number 5, measure. When you get those results measured. So for us, in a fiscal year, 12 months, 2021, 259 articles were generated about Tucson, 761 placements, $30 million. If I had bad those odds, it would have cost me $30 million to get that publicity. And the last recommendation I have to use is amplify. So we did an analysis about our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We found that in Twitter is business to business. Instagram, that's where our tourists are. Facebook are locals, Tucsonans. But what happens when National Geographic does a story about Tucson? Well, this is my Facebook followers. It's 125,000 people. There's a ton of little dots here. That blue cloud, those are my Tucson residents. When I tell my Facebook fans that there was a story about my community in New York Times, that cloud goes crazy and starts talking about it because they're proud of their community. And then they're telling their friends that live in other places, in other countries, about my community. So these are very basic 6 recommendations that for us have been overwhelming. It's surprising what we're seeing again on media coverage. So again, anything that I can do to help you or assist you, please let me know. And I think that's about it. I'd love to you and the clicker as well.
Thank you, Felipe. So now it's going to be time to choose a table. So please, Stephanie, Felipe, and Carlos, can you sit at one and the 3 table? And participants, you can just sit down with either Stephanie, Carlos, or Felipe. Please keep in mind that there will be a second round, so perhaps try to keep a balance between the participants at each table. You will have to choose a second one after. And so you will have 10 minutes for discussion. You can keep an eye to the screen, and there will be a 5 minutes and 1 minute. Want a discussion for a longer time, or we put this way, 2 tables for 10 minutes. 2 tables? It's good for everyone? Okay, so let's keep it that way. Yes.
I think that there was a discussion to do this earlier in our program. Yeah. So in the boss we can keep chatting about it, and Stephanie's English is better and not start saying crazy things. No? I like the first one. The drinks is always good. The first one.
Yeah, but there was a suggestion to organize it on the first or second day, so you can check doing the events. That's a very good idea. We keep that in mind. And yes, so second round two. We'll start with Birmingham, and Florence will be presenting the citizen-owned city food strategy of Birmingham.
Okay. Great. I am going to talk about Birmingham and our food system strategy. Birmingham is England's second city, the largest local authority in Europe, over 100 languages spoken, a huge, diverse gastronomic scene, but we have a suite of food system issues, from health to environment to equality and to our food economy, particularly coming out of COVID. Today, I believe, we have launched our food system strategy to public consultation. I'm going to be telling you about how we got here and what our plans are for the future to make sure it's owned and delivered by the citizens. So it starts with leadership. We had a visionary director of public health who really recognised the need for food work in the city. In 2015, we signed the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact. We had some great work going on around childhood obesity, which required strategic thinking, and the Milan team was saying to us, where is your food system strategy? So strategy development began in 2018. Shortly before that, Public Health recruited the Food Foundation, who I work for, and we are a food think tank, to bring in external expertise to advise on wider food system issues. So to do our strategy development, there were a number of projects of reports that we undertook. We did a policy audit to see what policies we already had in place in the city around food. We did the Birmingham Food Conversation, so that was our first public engagement to hear from the citizens. Something called the Seldom Heard Voices Report, speaking to marginalised communities about their experiences and vision for food in the city. Later we did a UN Food System Summit dialogue, like Elizabeth talked about yesterday. We did desk-based research. We looked at other cities' best practice. We looked at frameworks and guidelines to see where the holes in our strategy were. COVID hit, and as you all know, that waylaid our plans. Coming out of COVID, our director realised that with the team being focused on COVID recovery, and with such a complex challenge to build a food system strategy that required engaging so many stakeholders, we needed dedicated resource. So they recruited a food team. The food team sits under public health, but works across the whole council, coordinating departments, coordinating food activity in different departments. And again, recruiting that food system team brought in external expertise that wasn't already in place within the public health department. They've been refining and developing the strategy. And what we concluded is that we need whole system change. We need to look at the food system as a whole with three pillars of environment, communities, and economy. And we have reached 9 work streams. So we've got food production, waste, behaviour change, sourcing, economy and employment, food security and resilience, food transformation, skills and knowledge, innovation, partnerships and research. And this is going to be delivered across people and communities, from the life course, from birth until death, across the city and across settings. So that's, we've got 9 settings identified: home, the food businesses, education settings, and many more. We also realised that for this to be a success, we needed to energise citizens. We didn't want this to be a dry council document. We wanted it to be a living, breathing strategy that excited people, that made people want to take part and deliver the strategy into action, not just another strategic plan from the council. So we created the Birmingham Food Revolution. This is quite radical branding for a local authority, and as someone who is a little bit radical, I am really, really pleased that the council decided to go with something that is calling for revolution. So I think that's pretty cool. So what's next? Well, we've gone through cabinet approval. We're now in a period of 4-month public consultation where we'll be speaking to young people, to businesses, to education settings, to innovators. We're going to be developing 9 action plans with 9 working groups for each of our 9 work streams, identifying leaders within the community, within the city, to deliver the strategy, to deliver the plans. We are going to work with the stakeholders, with the leaders, with the city to help, to facilitate making great things happen in our city. So the key lessons from what we have learned is senior leadership. If you don't already have it, try and encourage it. Learn from city networks, as we're all doing here today. Establish a food system approach from the beginning. It needs to be holistic. We can't look at the food system in silos. Capacity is really, really important. It's a big challenge. Put the resource into it if you can. Use experts. If you need to bring them in externally, do so, because they will make everything, they will make it much more rich. They understand the complexity. Be realistic and pragmatic about what you can control and influence, and use others to share the workload and deliver your plan. And engage widely. Speak to people. They have a lived experience, they know their business, they know their community, they will help you create a strategy. And you should be well, in our case, the local authority. We are the facilitator, not the dictator. And finally, allow time. These things take a long time, they're complex, and if you do it right, then the outcome will be the strongest that it can be. Thank you. Oh, and just finally, if you want to get in touch, if you want to follow the Birmingham Food Revolution, there are our socials. Thank you.
Thank you, Florence. Now we will listen to Gaziantep and Birmingham. They will be presenting their agriculture school for women.
Hello everybody. Firstly, I would like to briefly inform you about my city. My city is on the southeastern part of Turkey, and it's so close to Syria, just to know. And we have 2 million population, and in the city after the Syrian war, we have 500,000 refugees in the city right now. My city is very famous with the industry. We have more than 5 industrial zones in the city, and most of the bulgur, macaroni, pasta goes from my city to all over the world. Yes, my city is very famous about the gastronomy, and in this case we have each year a very big festival in the city, GastroFest. We are welcoming millions of people in the city in these days, and I hope this year you are going to experience this festival. And yes, we are famous with gastronomy, but gastronomy starts with the agriculture. And now, today, I'm going to inform you about Agricultural School of Gaziantep. It is the municipal school, actually. It has 25,000 meters square green area, greenhouse, and totally 45,000 meters square total area. Agricultural school has been established within the body of Gaziantep Metropolitan Municipality, Agricultural Services and Food Department, and as a result of signing of a joint protocol by Gaziantep Metropolitan Municipality, Directorate of Agriculture and Forestry, Provincial Directorate of National Education, and Provincial Directorate of Turkish Employment Agency. And here we have so much trainings, like became a cooperative, trainings on Solanaceae, it is the family of aubergine, trainings for the production of domestic table olive and etc. you can see there. And the most effective part of this school is women are employed in this school because they are learning how they are growing the fruits, eggplants, tomatoes, strawberries, and not only the Gaziantep citizens, but also the Syrian refugees, the ladies in the city. And with this purpose, we can adopt them to labor market. Sorry. In order to encourage cooperation and ensure unity of the power, we establish a supreme union which will consist of the board of directors of the cooperatives established or to be established in 9 districts of Gaziantep. Joining forces will be made with the supreme union and branding will be accelerated. Increasing women's employment and encouraging entrepreneurship, We aim to offer quality products by entering national and international markets. We have right now 6 cooperatives that ladies are working and making money. They are selling their productions in international bazaar. And we 3 are waiting for approvals. These are the names of the cooperatives, and you can see what they are producing there. And here we have freeze-dry technology of the vegetables and fruits. With freeze-dry technology is a drying method that can remove all the water content without changing the nutritional value, taste, smell, shape characteristics of the products. At the same time, they can be stored for many years. The molasses, pomegranate juice, and pomegranate syrup to be produced in the facility will be produced under vacuum to obtain a product that doesn't contain HMF, which is known to be cancerogenic. In another cooperative of these agriculture school, pickles and jam varieties are produced and they are exporting to abroad. And capacity diversity will be further increased and activities will be expanded with grants and support. Actually, we are very good at funding and grants. We are taking monies from EU projects so much, and they are all donated for these kind of, especially for the Syrian migrants in the city to have the balance. This is dried tomato, and this is the same way that we are making them dry and selling to abroad. And they are organic also. In the facility established by IEO, this is what the kind of project that we have done with IEO. It is a German foundation. Islahiye district dried, sun-dried tomato paste and grape molasses are produced using traditional methods. And we have moringos, which is good for your health, for your lung, for your stomach. Like aloe vera today we have seen, it is good for everything. And we have geographical sign of moringos, and one of our cooperatives are producing this. And for branding, we are supporting, as being the municipality of Gaziantep, we are supporting the cooperatives to get labels. And for all logo designs and other teams are supported by our municipality. We have geographical indication and branding works, and in total we have more than 100 geographical products of Gaziantep, and 7 of them was accepted in all Europe also, not the national ones, but international ones also. Yes, some of them are here, some of them desserts, some of them are foods, and today you are going to test some of them, sadly not all of them. And we have baklava here with us, and we have melange coffee that are geographical indication. And for promoting all these efforts, we are joining all the international events from all over the world, and we are welcoming so much delegations from abroad. These are some pictures of the fairs that we have joined. This is the opening ceremony of the event. And we have another, I think food for youth is okay. Instead of this, I prefer to invite everybody. In 15 and 17 of September, we have Gastronomy Festival in the city. And we would like to invite with this opportunity all the members of Délice to Gaziantep. And I have some permissions from somebody from Cali, from Brussels, from Lyon, from Mexico, from Birmingham. I'm not sure Chiki, not Chiki. Yeah. And from Tucson, we have some permissions, and from Cali, I would like to invite you all to see and test these beauties to my beautiful city. Thank you.
Chicky sounds better.
Thank you very much, Diana. And now the third city of this round, I would like to call Mérida. Yes.
Gracias. Thank you very much, everyone. We're going to try to be real quick because we have a video. I want to start with a video here of Mérida. We all know about Mérida, but I want you to pay attention because this is part of our promotion that we are doing around the world with what is Mérida. So here we goes. ¿Le ponemos play? Y le subimos al volumen. No. No, regresamos. Le subimos al volumen. Gracias. México lindo y querido, desde su sing y muero lejos de ti, que digan que estoy dormido y que me traigan. Que digan que estoy dormido. Thank you very much. This is what we had for you. We came all around the world just to show you this. Thank you. Thank you. ¿No va? Okay.
3 minutes left.
We'll try. Anyway, just like the sticker with the frog, I'm getting kind of nervous. It doesn't? ¿Ah? No. Bueno, tienes el otro, en el humor podemos abrir la otra, o sería mucho problema. La otra presentación que tenías guardada, y ahí está el video. No sé si no, pues arranco con el resto. Yeah, we continue? Okay. I'll show you the other video, because when we have it, I'll try the opportunity just to show the video afterwards, okay? So, can we go to the presentation? No. The thing is about the audio. Okay, I'll show you the video afterward because we dedicated a lot to this video and I think it's important. Anyway, what we're going to talk today about is un sello gastronómico. It's a gastronomic seal that we are creating as a city, okay, as the city of Mérida, and it has three main components. It has to have cultural, touristic, and sustainable requirements. So if a restaurant has these requirements that we're going to show, then as a city, we will give them the seal to make people know, because it's not all about eating, it's knowing where to eat. And now that a lot of businessmen are doing efforts to become more sustainable, this is a strategy, and it's three directions that we are using. The direction of culture, the direction of tourism, and economic development, which is me, and the direction of sustainability. So three directors of the City Hall are working on this seal. So, you know what Mérida is considered the second safest city in all Latin America. Some of the awards that we had, we just mentioned that. We've been twice Mérida Capital of Culture, so we are recognized as a city of culture. We are now also a UNESCO Gastronomy Creative City. Of course, we are part of the Délice Network since 2017. We've been rated as the third best city to visit in the world, etc., etc. This is part of our gastronomy. You know, the cochinita pibil, which also we talk about it, made out of achiote, and it goes underground. And it has a wide gastronomy offer, from traditional food, local markets, to restaurants, and we are using local ingredients with a program that is a City Hall program called Círculo 47. That one is to make that all the products from the communities or villages that we have around the city go, and they are being used by the restaurants to stop the intermediaries, okay? So this would be the Mérida City Gastronomy Seal. And what we would do is recognize and encourage good practices in gastronomy, and the city of Mérida will recognize this with this seal. With this will be the fundamental aspects. The priority consume of local ingredients will be an important thing to promote economy, development, this one is coming, and the integration of product chains and the appreciation of high quality local ingredients. The second one is to promote good environmental practices, okay? Just like stop waste, garbage, and diffusion of a propagation of good practices to raise awareness among consumers around the world. We are expecting in this first initial stage 50 restaurants that already said we want the seal, okay? So how are we going to do it? Because they are asking, okay, everyone could want to be to have the seal. What are we going to do? First of all, they have to be and have this obtain the good sanitary practices certificate from the Yucatan government, which will be the government of Valle de Cauca. They have to be established and formal restaurant, okay? And they have to score over 60 points on the evaluation criteria that we're going to see. And at the end, they have to fill out the form to be part of this seal. These are part of what we're going to have. The benefits of the participants, okay? We want to make participants aware of the relevancy of becoming a sustainable restaurant, obtain recognition because they are going to be, we're going to be promoting them in the promotion cities page, like Visit Mérida. We're going to be promoting where to go to eat at the city, these restaurants that have the gastronomic seal. It will have local, national, and international diffusion about marketing strategies, etc. And some of the criteria, okay? Just so you know, the first one will appropriate actions to promote local suppliers. Restaurants that are consuming from local suppliers, that would be one of the criteria. Local suppliers without intermediaries, menu development based on seasonal of ingredients, okay? So they don't have to force the ingredients if it's not the time to consume that. Local beverages, that would be also a good point in the criteria. And the representation of local culture. What we're saying here, this is the culture part. The restaurant has to hire handcrafts. It has to hire a painter that is local. They has to have a music from the local artists in the restaurant, so they can also give economy to the local artists. Second, it's the environmental responsibility. One, actions like this one, proper waste management to reduce water consumption, okay? Second, the water and energy care with solar panels could be, and also water recycle system, etc. Number three, actions on agriculture. We talk about it with someone, like we're going to encourage restaurants to have doggy bags, okay? Not to waste, we just sell it today at the market. We were gonna have a tamal per person. It was gonna be a lot of waste. Someone just decided, hey, let's split the tamales and we'll be fine. Same thing, if something, like if we wouldn't have a lot of food, to take doggy bags, it will be one of the things. And of course, having actions like COVID. Number three, about the other part, it's the promotion and communication actions. Like, first of all, information related to local consumption and the benefits, including the menu. Okay, we're gonna explain what you are eating exactly. The presence of the message of local consumption in internal communication, and the promotion through just what Felipe said, through media, influencers, and promoting these restaurants. Like having the experience. If you go to Mérida, you don't need to go to the cathedral. You have to go to La Chaya Maya because it's the best place to have the cochinita pibil, okay? And it's a restaurant that has the gastronomic seal. And just to end, who's gonna do this audit? You know, because we're gonna have the criteria. The three directors are gonna be, how do you call it? Calificado? We're gonna be certifying, but then someone has to audit so the restaurant can apply again. Well, the unit of sustainable of the city is the direction of sustainability would be in charge of doing the audits, okay? And that's about it. I present you the seal of the gastronomic. This will be the seal. It's the cultural, the gastronomy, and the sustainability. So we will do one of these, and it will be beautiful, made out of kind of like the gold paint, and we will have it in the entrance of the restaurant, We'll have the mayor to go and give the restaurant the certification of all these restaurants that go in. So, thank you very much. Gracias. I'll show you the video later.
Yes, we will send you, when we come back to the office, we'll send you all the presentation and we will include the video. Yes? So now time to choose a new table. So please, the speaker can choose their own table and participant can choose 2 projects out of 3. So we have Birmingham and the citizen-owned strategy. We have Gaziantep with the agriculture school, and we have Mérida. Please get a seat. Who is coming? You can just...
Okay guys, no slides, no video in my case, so no technical issues. And then the other good thing is that I can adapt my speech to what I heard before, because I'm also going to talk about labeling in a different way, but compared on what Primo said, we have different technique. Actually, well, working in a tourist board is very much about communication, right? And a few years ago, I came up to the conclusion that we had a communication problem in terms of communicating about the local offer, because we were using media and our own editorial team. But most of the time, the media will talk about the 5 best rooftop terraces or the 3 best vegetarian restaurants or whatever, but it's very difficult to have a global overview of your food scene, of your restaurant scene. So I was a bit worried about that, and we went to Puebla for a Délice meeting. And in Puebla, I heard about the mesas poblanas, and I thought, okay, we can maybe do something about Belgian cuisine restaurants in Brussels. Because I noticed that the information we were giving to the public was very much depending on the person who was providing that information. Like if you were at the desk, you were talking about your own favorite restaurants. And I didn't find it that it would be credible for me to supply my colleagues with a list. Well, I'm doing that all the time for internal use, but to communicate to the public and to the media, I thought, no, we're not the right person to judge. So I decided to create the first label called Brussels, and that's labeling restaurants of Belgian cuisine. How did we do it? We did it with food journalists. Like I was paying food journalists to go to the restaurants and to give me, just like a Michelin inspector, and to give me a report about is the experience positive or not. And why journalists? Firstly, because they are neutral, they don't own a restaurant themselves, but also they are your first ambassadors of the program. Because every time they go and visit a restaurant, they communicate on the social media, and they are the first ones who are going to communicate about your label once a program is achieved. So we've started that before COVID in 2017. We have yearly updates, so we keep on visiting the restaurants. So the first year was the most expensive one for us. It has costed us like 25,000 euro, but now updates, it's costing us like 5 to 10,000 euro a year, so it's quite cheap for us to continue communicating with an update list. We do that also with French fries and things like that, but anyway. And considering that result, because that brochure at that time we were still communicating on paper as well, we were distributing like 10,000 of brochures in the hotels. We decided to launch other projects as well. And another trick I used is doing a contest. And we've organized, it was a joke in the beginning, we've organized the contest for the best shrimp croquettes in Brussels. It's a local specialty, it's not a Brussels dish, it's a Belgian dish. Why did we do it? Well, myself, when I go to a Belgian cuisine restaurant, if I want to know if the food is going to be good or not, I order a shrimp croquette. Because it's really, if it's good, the rest of the meal is going to be good. If it's not, go away. So we did it with incredible success. I used the same strategy, using food journalists in the jury and 1 or 2 chefs to make it even more credible. We had 2 live TV journals talking about the contest, etc. It was incredible. We did the last contest months ago, and the winner is a restaurant that was already working like very successful in operation. They won, and the week after they won, their revenues rise by 30%, 30, for a restaurant that was well known. And that's the visible side of the project, because there is another side of the project that people don't know, and I'm not communicating about that. It is helping us to improve the quality of the offer, and this is my main goal. Because the first year, like half of the restaurants had less than 50% as a result. This year, there's only 1 restaurant that had less than 50%. And chefs are telling me, I've been rehearsing for 3 months to have a good croquette for this contest. So we are helping to increase the quality, which is for us as a tourist board very good. 1 minute. Okay. We are going to extend that with other fields, like next year we'll have the best beer cafes, same thing, the same process. But also, compared to what you said, Pimo, and we briefly spoke about it at your table, we have a similar label about sustainability in the restaurants, etc. But we feel there is a missing link, missing information. We don't speak about the quality of the food that's being served. We speak about the quality of the product, sustainability, food waste, blah, blah, blah. But now we are going, that sustainable label is not under our hands, but we are going now to trigger that, activate that, and talk about the quality of the restaurants that are labelized. And we are going to use culinary magazines as well, and ourselves to communicate to a larger audience. Because we feel the 2 criteria are really complementary. And well, if you want to use those techniques in your own city, come to Montreal.
Thank you very much, Olivier. And now, to the box, I would like to welcome Cali and Stefania.
Well, I used to have a video and a presentation because I thought I had like 10 minutes, so I'm going just to do very quickly my presentation in order, maybe I can show you a small part of the video. You already have the presentation, So what we're doing, or what I want to talk, I already have my presentation about like the strategy of Cali. But in this case, I want to like focus or look up in a social project that is really, really beautiful. That is called Rural and Urban Agroecology System. But why born this project in here? Why this action that is focused on the welfare of our citizens start to be needed actually? So, okay. We have, I will say, like 4 main problems that we are facing today. One of those, according to the FAO, we have early warning analysis of acute food insecurity hotspot, and we are like in the 3 spot, we're on the 2nd one. The other thing is that we are in the map of hunger hotspot, and here we have a lot of work to do. But right now, the 40% of our suppliers of urea to Colombia that actually is really needed to grow all our vegetables and fruits come from Russia and Ukraine, and actually the prices of all our food right now in Colombia are like high a lot. I'm trying to go really, really fast, you know. And the fourth problem that we had was the social explosion that happened to the 28th of April last year, which just showed us as a city that we have to start working on the welfare of our citizens, those citizens that haven't have a lot of opportunities in their life. So the principal issues were environmental impact, social impact, and economic impact. But I have to let you know something. For example, one of the big problems that we have an area where this project starts that is close to the river. And we have invasions all the time. And more or less in 42 hours, we found like 1,000 of invasions there. And the problem is that it's close to the Cauca River, and the floods just once a year just kill a lot of people that is located there. But it's quite impossible to go there to took them away. So we start this project that is called Huertas Urbanas, like urban gardens with fruit and vegetables. The specific objectives were generate self-management capacities in the vulnerable population of the city to strengthen the social fabrics of Santiago de Cali, design the articulation scheme of the actors that make up the district archaeology systems, implement the operational route of the systems in accordance with the principal axis and guidelines contemplated. Guide the common use, free access, and use of public space contributing to the maintenance, resignifications, and protection of the environmental and landscape heritage of the city, and contribute to, of course, food sovereignty and economic reactivation of the vulnerable population of the district of Santiago de Cali. And the project is focused on, this is the map, you already saw a lot of time the map I show you, but the project is focused as well in order to put some barriers to the extension of the city. Because we are like just start construction, like a lot of buildings and everything, and we are losing our more than 70% of rural area. So what we're looking for with this project is leading by the Secretary of Participation of Citizens, something like that. And now I'm going to put you a small video that I hope have 2 or 3 minutes to show you.
Do you want to
Thank
see a
you very
beautiful
much.
video of Cali?
Yeah. They're the hosts. If they want half an hour.
Ponemos el video, sí. Sorry.
Gaby said that. 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes.
Okay, so maybe it's not your problem.
Okay, there are some testimonials of the people. As I mentioned at the day I did my presentation, we have a big problem of the migration people, and all of these migration persons comes to the conflict that the city have been facing for almost more than 60 years. So okay, we have like the subtitles, so.
No, that's a song. Sorry.
It's okay.
¿Por qué no la pusieron a cantar? They're settlements.
No, yo canto. I'm not there. Yeah. Terrible. And it's okay.
Estefanía, will you clarify the informal settlements?
Informal settlements. Yeah, I was looking for the exact. Yeah, it's not invasions.
About the Martians invading.
Yeah.
No,
Or the Russians.
Informal settlements. Thank you. And it was incredible. I mean, I'm talking about them in 42 hours. We found 1,600 houses. It was like incredible.
the technical team wants Délice to do. Yeah? Everyone's tired, I think.
It's supposed to start to singing, but I'm not doing that, you know?
That's your part.
No, it's okay. This is an awful story. They appear in their house and tell you have 28 hours to leave your place. And she used to have like a really nice farm, you know. So she just took their children and come to the city, and she has never been in Cali in an urban place. So she found this program like really going back to their origins and connecting with the earth.
Yo soy estudiante de músicas tradicionales y populares del Instituto Popular de Cultura. Tengo 23 años. Soy trabajador de las huertas comunitarias Cali, Venecia.
Ah, véala cómo está hermosa. Ya me está produciendo flor. A ver, niños, ¿ustedes cómo están? Todavía no he venido, ¿no? Pero ustedes me disculpan. ¿No, muñecos? Ay, a ver cómo está el platanín. Eso, mi muñeco. Ah, no, sí, aquí mis vecinos dicen que yo estoy loco porque le hablo a ustedes, pero ustedes me escuchan, ¿sí o no? Ellos saben que por eso es que me producen toda la machuca. Miren, ahí que estaba seco, viendo cómo está volviendo a florecer, de tanto hablarle. Soy su oficial retirado del ejército. Llegué desplazado con mi familia de una vereda llamada Pavas en el municipio de La Cumbre. Viví mucho tiempo en el Parillo y ahorita el plan Parillo nos reubicó en estos apartamentos que es la unidad habitacional Flamaní.
De muy niña me vine de Nariño. En Nariño tenía mi familia y cuando mi madre falleció fue cuando yo arranqué para acá porque me apareció un boletín debajo de la puerta donde decía tienes 48 horas para desaparecer de aquí. Entonces eso me dejó pensando y dije, Dios mío, ¿yo cómo voy a dejar matar a mis hijos? Y llegué ahí, esa parte de allí, era un barrio, se llamaba Villamosa, un asentamiento. Era en unas casitas todas así seguiditas, todas es así. Cali, como le digo, para mí fue una bendición. No conocía Cali, no conocía el sitio, no conocía nada. Pero en el camino me encontré seres buenos, personas buenas. Dicen que el que siembra recoge.
Mis manos son como mi herramienta principal de trabajo porque con ellas puedo hacer arte, puedo sembrar. Para mí ser campesino es como una gran bendición. Sí, me gusta mucho porque creo que es como mi uniforme de batalla, es como mi uniforme de lucha diaria, y sé que muchos campesinos tienen que atravesar muchas dificultades a veces para entregar los alimentos a los hogares de todo el pueblo colombiano.
Eso cuando nos asignaron las huerticas es volver uno a sus raíces, cuando sembrar sus propios cultivos y añorar.
Tal vez ya en mis últimos días Dios me ha dado lo que tuve en niñez, lo que yo lo tuve en mi niñez, crecí en esas tierras, en esas fincas, en esa abundancia, se puede decir, donde había de todo. El campo es vida, el campo es salud, el campo es comida, el campo da todo. Por eso a mí la huerta me encanta, a mí me fascina. Yo desde las 5:30 de la mañana estoy allá, yo madrugo.
Este proyecto de las huertas y el que hayan más espacios para sembrar en Cali, en la ciudad de Cali, me parece muy bello porque les ayuda a los campesinos a que vuelvan a sus raíces, a sus tradiciones y que ellos mismos se sientan más confiados y seguros y tranquilos de que pertenecen aquí.
Para mí es satisfactorio ver que este era una escombrera. La gente de la ciudad venía y nos botaba los escombros y ahorita ver cómo nos está dando producción los niños por las tardes, sobre todo los que están aprendiendo a querer el campo, a querer las huertas.
Porque mientras más juventud haya, mientras más personas jóvenes se animen a participar en el proyecto, mucho mejor va a ser, porque así se va pasando la tradición de lo que es el campesino, de lo que es el campo.
Campesino en Cali es un orgullo. Imagínense que uno ser un campesino trabajando al pie de una ciudad.
Mami, mira, así es que vamos a cuidar nuestra huerta. Ustedes se imaginan a la mamá, a la abuelita, al abuelito, mija, ya le llevo los tomates para la ensalada, o le llevo la albahaca si le está doliendo el estómago. Y miren todo lo que uno puede tener en la casa. ¿Usted se imagina una huerta de esas en cada casa? No necesita ser campesino.
Yo me imagino que van a haber muchas huertas, además de esto, que va a haber como una vía para que todos los de Cali y los de otros países, todos los del mundo que quieran venir acá,
Thank you so much, Stefania. No, it's perfect. It's a great initiative and we are very happy to learn about it. And last but not least, it will be Helsinki.
Sarita, el proceso está mexicalizado también. La chiquilina.
All right. Hello. Trying to be quick. I know you all are tired. I'm as well. Yeah. So today I'm here to talk about the new food culture strategy for the city of Helsinki, and shortly about where I come from. It's the Helsinki City Premises Ltd, which is a new company established in the beginning of this year. We don't even have a visual identity yet, so no logos, nothing. We are still organizing our actions and people. But yeah. So, shortly about the history of the food culture strategy. The first one was introduced in 2010, and then the annual budget was around 120,000 euros, and it had 4 sub-programs: the organic food at daycare centers and schools, so for the children. Then also developing dynamic outdoor and indoor markets, and then the World Design Capital food program at 2012. And in the year, the development or I don't know what it's called, the direction went to street food, which was really important then in Helsinki and for the urban city culture of Helsinki. And the vision for the 10 years was Helsinki, the fresh and blooming city of good food, where food is highly appreciated and it's known for its food culture. And now, as I said before, the new company, us Helsinki City Premises, we were established just a few months ago. And the ownership strategy includes also development of food culture, but mainly our aim is to develop the public and historical spaces and places in Helsinki, such as market halls and also open air markets. and also that way the food. And the work starts this year, developing the new strategy together with the Economic Development Department of Helsinki City. And Jukka-Pekka is from that department, so we are colleagues. And maybe the aim for this year is finding the right partners to work with. For example, Helsinki Partners, which is like the tourism for the city of Helsinki and also the marketing bureau, and food actors, and also maybe participating the citizens of Helsinki. And the objective in overall level is that Helsinki's goal is to promote well-being, comfort, and attractiveness through the food-related choices and activities. And as a food city, Helsinki wants to try something new and strive for continuous development, as well as act as a leader, a responsible example, and a positive model. In Helsinki, food is valued, and citizens are given good reasons to be proud of our food culture, food business operators, and also our hometown. Helsinki wants to offer also its visitors delicious experiences. Whoa, I didn't do that. And then, what's coming in the next year? The objectives of the new food culture strategy would be to find out where Helsinki, as a food city, where the brand is now, and position within Nordic cities and also with European cities. Can Helsinki stand out globally with anything? And if, what is the thing? What are the spearheads for the new strategy? And there's listed like a lot of reasons and the spearheads which make Helsinki and Helsinki food and Finnish food so good, and why it has to have its own strategy. Organic, wild and local production, urban allotment gardens, as you can see the box behind the text. Then vegetarian food, and we have also discussed it about the fact that Helsinki offers only vegetarian food nowadays in official meetings and seminars. So that's a big change. And then high quality restaurants in the city, interesting food-related happenings and events, such as festivals, exhibitions, huge open-air terraces, and we have like festival for vegetarian food, for licorice, for ice cream, you name it. And then co-creating the Helsinki food culture strategy with food actors, locally, nationally, networking in Finland, and also internationally and like globally. And it's been really good to talk to all of you. And well, the environmental issues are a big thing, and also enlivening the areas in the ways of placemaking. And developing the open air markets and market halls so they can bloom and be like really nice places to go in Helsinki. And the most important, find the best practices from other cities. And that's why I'm standing here today. Yes, thank you.